I had an opportunity to speak to some motorcyclists about motorcycling street skills flashcards at Country Road Motorworks in Fairport, New York. While the video itself is a little amateurish, there were dogs in the background, kids running around. The video quality isn't that great. The people in attendance, including myself, had a really good time, had a really good discussion, and I felt that this video gives people outside of my little community a snapshot into what the flashcards can do for motorcyclists and how good discussions can be had. And I'd love to maybe speak to different people, different groups about these cards. So thanks for taking a look at the video. And if you have any questions, please visit streetskills.net.
Anyway, John's going to tell us how to avoid some of those problems.
I'm going to try to. How you doing? Gosh, every face pretty much is familiar. So it's kind of like we could have just had breakfast. But yeah, last year, last winter, I got this cockamamie idea to create a flashcard to help people learn riding skills, reinforce habits, good skills, and it just sort of, year went by, and I'm in a couple catalogs and trying to sell them, and it's a pretty nice product. It's still hard to to get the message out, but because who needs to learn anything anymore? We just get on the thing. There's a button. It's red. You press it, turn this, start it up, and off you go. And I think you would agree with me by when I say many riders just get on a motorcycle and go, and they don't really think too much about a strategy. So I'm going to basically increase thrills, decrease skills with street skills. Right. Now, Art did say I was MSF coach, but this is separate. This is not in any way affiliated with the Motorcycle Safety Foundation. It's sort of like my twist on riding. So those of you who know me, this is my name, John Delvecchio, but you may not know what I do for a living. I'm a high school teacher. I teach, and on part-time I teach kids how to drive, and I've been teaching motorcycles for now 6-7 years. And my experience teaching kids and adults, I've made some 4 following observations, okay? So bear with me on a PowerPoint. It's a teacher in me to keep people focused. But the first observation I've made is that there is no point of perfect knowledge, okay? So every one of us still has something to learn about everything we do. There's no point where you know it all, which you would probably agree. The second thing is there's no instant knowledge or expertise. You can't just spend the weekend in a course or read a book and you instantly know that information, all right? You might have a better idea of it, motorcycles especially. The other thing I've observed is that curriculum and instruction fails all people to some extent. So what I mean by this is there's a little something called the learning pyramid here. So if you take a look at what this shows us, just by coming here and listening to me today, 5%. Okay, you probably retain about 5% of that. If you read a book, you'll probably pick up 10% of the information. As we go down and down, we have a discussion. Today we're hopefully going to have a discussion. You're going to walk away with maybe half of what we discuss. Practice by doing. And then the biggest of them all, the best of them all, is teaching somebody something or immediately using that information. So you're in a good position now to pick up a book, do something, take a class, because you can go right out and use that information that you learned so you can retain most of that information. And let's see here. The fourth observation is that books and courses don't automatically yield learning. So there's great value to books and courses. Our writing group signed up to take the ARC that Ron Hines is hopefully putting together. They're trying to get the pieces in the puzzle right now.
What's the ARC?
The Advanced Rider Course.
Okay.
And it's available now in Buffalo. But Ron Hines is trying to bring it here. I think he spoke to the group last time or a couple times ago about that. So always pick up a book. I have a stack of books waiting to read at home because they're great. But if it were the case you could read a book or take a course, then why are people getting hurt? You know, why do people still have problems? And of course, why don't you and me ride like Valentino Rossi? Right? Slow look, press, roll. Okay, a few extra techniques. You have to practice those things. Okay, so back to this real quick though. Books and courses do aid learning. Okay, so what do you think I mean by that? They aid our learning.
They put you in a position to know something.
Yeah, right. So they put you in a position to then go down that road. We know that most people who learn from a friend have bigger problems. They crash more than if they learn from a course. Now, a friend of mine, Brooks, just gave me an article that said, you know, states that have mandatory training still have crashes. In fact, they have 10% more crashes than these people. Okay, you have to take this class, a safety class, before you can ride. People are still crashing. So you have to apply effort too. You have to be motivated. Back to the first thing I said. People get on these things, they start them up and leave, right? What's their motivation to learn more? Why can't Ron Hines fill experienced rider classes? Why does he run, you know, maybe he puts 1,000 people through the BRC every year. Why does he put 30 through the experienced rider course? Why would you think that is? We know everything, exactly. So people may not be motivated to pursue this type of information. So even motivated learners with unappealing resources. I mean, I have these books, I can't get to them because there's just so much there, right? They're great, but that's where kind of like I came up with the idea, the flashcard. Okay, so which brings us to, all right, so these cards right here. Now when I see, as a teacher, when I see typical instruction not working, I look for ways to kind of shortcut the learning process, more effective ways to communicate, different ways. So as a teacher, you say, oh, if I do this and they don't learn, if I do that again, they're not going to learn. If I keep doing that, I have to do something different in order for them to learn. So with that in mind, I created these because there's a lot of books out there, but there's really nothing out there that's just a short, sweet, and to the point kind of flashcard. So you can look at them up close after you know, the presentation if you want to just take a look at what they're all about. And many of you know what they are. As a matter of fact, several people have bought a set of them in the past. So what I'm going to do next, and this is going to be the bulk of the conversation, is just I'm going to put the cards up on the projector. And we're going to take a few moments to look at the card. And I can explain things for you. You can help each other explain things. We can acknowledge maybe a technique works or not. And maybe even answer questions if you have.
John, not to, well, I am
Go
going
ahead.
to interrupt, but
Yeah.
I think, you know, one of the key points of your flashcard notion was back at the bottom of your pyramid there, where you know you
teach others.
Yeah, the let me get there. This one.
Yeah, the practice by doing is that your cards are meant to be with you on the bike.
Exactly.
That
Somewhere
you're meant
nearby.
to look at them when you're about to do.
Right. Like you're taking
It's the thing that makes them really
right.
cool
when,
to me.
One of the things that motivated the thought behind this, I think I might have told somebody, is I bought Total Control by Lee Parks. Good book. In it were you know, exercises you could do. Set these cones up, go to a parking lot, do these exercises. And I went so far as to cut tennis balls in half and get ready to go out there and do this. Guess what I never did?
Go and do it.
I never took the time to go to the parking lot. It's a nice day. I want to ride. But what I did do was I photocopied a page out of his book that compared fear versus confidence. And it had this table that I wanted in front of me. So I had that in my tank bag, looking through the map case at me, and that was one that kind of led me to the same thinking here. We're not really probably going to go into a parking lot and practice these skills. We should, especially if you're new and it's the beginning of the season, get out there in a parking lot. But most of us are just going to get on the bike and go down the road. And so if we have a little something to focus, you can't remember everything because this young lady's going to be taking the course this weekend. She'll never remember it all on Monday. It's just, we can't. So, but you can focus on a page in this book on one ride, you see, and that was kind of the thinking behind it. So, thanks a lot, Ivan. So, I'm going to take you to the skills. Now, these are just, again, I compiled them, I tried to put them in some logical order, but we're not going to go through the whole thing, just the interest of time. My point today is to get you thinking about reflecting on your skill, okay? Reflecting on what you want to learn next.